Hello and welcome. You're watching Agenda. I'm Sonal, Mehrotra, Kapoor, and today we are coming to you from the Ghamroach village. This is to bring you a story of a man who was falsely implicated by the Gurgaon police. He was in the jail for about 70 odd days, in fact more than that. Before that, he was in the custody of the police and he's now come out on bail to tell his horror tale. He says that he was tortured, electrocuted, tied up like a chicken, his words, and beaten until he went unconscious, even injected at times when he screamed in pain. Then tutored later to give the version the police wanted him in front of the magistrate. We are talking about Ashok, the bus conductor, who was accused earlier by the Gurgaon police. They had said it's an open and shut case, but now CBI has come out to say it was all a falsely implicated case. They say it was just to pin him down because he was an easy target. We come to you, like I said, from the village, and today we'll be discussing then, since the turn of events have been so, that is it really that easy to pin down poor and helpless people? Is the justice delivery system in the country failing those who do not have the power to take on the system? On the program today, we are joined by Maxwell Pereira. He's going to be giving us the policing aspect of it. Thank you so much, sir, for coming all the way to the village. We've got Tanveer Ahmed Mir in the studios. He is somebody who's got a lot of experience in something like this, was the main lawyer in the Arushi case as well. We've got Sushil Tirkiwal as well, who's the lawyer for Pradyuman and his family. And with me on the location are Ashok's parents, his mother, his father, his wife, and the entire village, which has been the backbone for this family while their own bread earner was away in jail. Now, before we begin, let's listen in now to an interview that I did with Ashok earlier in the day. He's not very well, so we didn't get him to come on live with us again, but he tells a very horrific story. Listen in from his mouth this time. Over 70 days of being behind bars for a crime he never committed. This is the story of Ashok, who's finally walked out free from the Bhonsi jail. He is in his house at the moment, but the state can be seen. He can't even sit on his own, has to sit with the support of his wife and his uncle over here, and says he's in considerable amount of pain. अशोक, हम थोड़ी देर ही आपसे बात करेंगे, पर जानना चाहते हैं कि इतने टाइम जब आपको पुलिस ने रखा तो क्या एग्जैक्टली हुआ? हमें शुरुआत से बताइए, कैसे ये शुरू हुआ पूरा काम?
ले जाके मारने लगे थाने में, पीटते रहे, उल्टा लटका दिया, फिर मुर्गा की तरह वैसे लटका दिया, ऊपर दोनों हाथ पैर को मारते हुए। मैं चिल्लाता रहा, बोलो तू हमारी बात मान ले, फिर तेरे को छोड़ देंगे। फिर मैं तो फिर इंजेक्शन लगाया था, करंट भी लगाया। फिर जैसे बोलते गए, मेरी तबीयत खराब होती, मैं उनके पीछे ऐसे वे हाँ भरवाते गए, जैसे वे बोलते रहे ऐसे मैं हाँ भरता रहा।
कितने दिन चला ऐसा?
जब तक उन्होंने हमारा रखा था। मेरे को पता भी नहीं क्या, एक दिन रखा, 2 दिन रखा, 3 दिन रखा। मैं तो सब कुछ भूल गया था, मेरे को सुध ही नहीं किसी चीज़ की।
पर उतने टाइम पर आपको जो कोर्ट में लेकर जाते थे, हमने खुद आपको उस समय देखा, क्या उससे पहले भी कुछ चीज़ें बताई उन्होंने कि जज साहब के सामने क्या बोलना है, क्या नहीं बोलना है?
वो तो पहले बता गया, वहाँ पर जाकर ना जो हमने तेरे को बताई है ना, फिर तेरे को अगर तू नहीं बोलेगा, हमारी कहीं नहीं मानेगा, फिर तू यहाँ पिटेगा और यहाँ से निकल नहीं पाएगा। मेरे को नो भी ना पता कोर्ट का क्या हुआ। उस टाइम जाकर वहाँ खड़ा कर दिया उन्होंने, जैसी कही वैसी मैंने हाँ भर ली। बस।
तो इस टाइम पे तुमने कभी पूछा अशोक उनसे कि क्यों तुम्हें ऐसा करवा रहे हैं, तुम्हें क्यों फंसाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं?
मेरे को किसी चीज़ को वो बता रहा था ना, मेरे को होश ही नहीं था। मैं तो सबको वो जैसे कह रहे ऐसे ही हाँ भरते जा रहा था।
अभी अशोक बताओ, अभी आप क्या चाहते हो? पहले मुझे अपनी हालत के बारे में बताओ, कहाँ आपको अभी भी आपको लगता है डॉक्टर की ज़रूरत है अभी तुरंत?
जेल में तो मैंने डर के मारा, पर मैं बताया नहीं किसी के मेरे क्या हो रहा।
पर वहाँ मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन होता है, वहाँ डॉक्टर ने नहीं देखा?
हाँ, इधर डॉक्टर मैंने बताई थी, उन्होंने ट्यूब दी, दवाई दी थी। वो इतना दवाई ले उतना थोड़ा आराम मिल जाए फिर ऐसी हो जाए शरीर। फिर मैं किसी को बताता भी नहीं अपना रोता रहता था उसमें बीच पड़ा हेक ले।
नहीं, हम समझ सकते हैं। और यहाँ पर ममता बैठी हैं, हमने ममता से इतने टाइम बात करी जब वो भी
2 मुलाजिम लगा रखे हुए बाहर बैठे रहते थे, उन्हें कुछ लेना देना ही अपने आराम से बाहर बात करे, मैं भीतर अभी एकला रोता रहता था। कोई नहीं, रोटी खाई तो खाई नहीं सो गया।
अभी अशोक अपनी हालत बताओ, कहाँ पर तुम्हें दर्द है? ऐसा तो नहीं लग रहा है कि कोई हड्डियाँ वगैरह भी टूटी हैं?
पूरे पैर जोड़ रखे जी, मुड़ते भी नहीं, सीधे भी नहीं होते। पूरी रात दर्द रहता चस। कमर में आप देख रहे हो बैठा नहीं जा रहा कुकड़ू। रीढ़ की हड्डी में इतना ज्यादा दर्द है और छाती में तो बहुत सांस में दिक्कत हो रही है लेने में।
अच्छा, मुझे ये बताओ अशोक कि अभी तुम रायन इंटरनेशनल तो वापस जाओगे नहीं काम करने, तो अब क्या आगे का सोचा है? आगे कैसे परिवार का चलाओगे?
मालिक ने क्या रख रखी और जिंदगी मेरे में, कैसे मैं बच्चों का पेट पालूंगा। तो बार कर्ज में हो गया। मजदूरी तो बस की नहीं रही अब। पहले मजदूरी करता था।
मैं आखिरी सवाल एक पूछना चाहती हूँ, उससे पहले तुम लेट जाओ। एक मैं पूछना ये चाहती हूँ तुमसे कि क्या तुम
सांस लेने बोलने में ना खतर मत लगा था।
We let Ashok be and not trouble him any further with questions. You can clearly see he's having hardship to even speak his mind out, but stating very categorically that he was injected, he was made to hang by the ropes, beaten up mercilessly and forced into a confession by the Gurgaon police. He's saying even now he's finding it difficult to even put his legs up straight. That means his limbs have been badly injured and his chest and heart also still suffering. And like he said, he's not fit for work at this moment. What will happen to his family now? Who will compensate? Isn't it the responsibility of Gurgaon police now to step up, apologize, and also pay back the family in whatever way they can? Obviously, his health can't be repaid with, but pay back the family in whatever way they can. But at the moment, lull, dead silence from Gurgaon police. We haven't had a word from them so far. With camera person Azam, Sonal, Mehrotra, Kapoor, NDTV. All right, we heard from Ashok there. Let's open the discussion here. And let me start by you, Mr. Pereira. Are you really surprised by the revelations that Ashok has made? Does it surprise you that he went out to say that within 2 hours of the case being reported, he was picked up by the police, taken in the lockup, he says, and beaten up until he was confessing, and he says what it was, unconscious state?
I'm shocked. In this modern age, in this day and age, to come across this kind of a treatment, alleged treatment, is something not really believable. And if true, then I think those responsible for this action need to be absolutely hauled over the coals. But the system is such that we inherited a kind of a policing which is a perfidy in all, because at every stage in our criminal justice system, of which we boast of so much, we boast of an incorruptible judiciary. Just now our delegate to the International Court of Justice has been re-elected against tough opposition from all over the world.
But
And
this is the
yet
reality.
the reality is such that we are still hanging on to an IPC and CRPC which is over 150 years old. And there are so many flaws in the law that I wonder how at all I completed 35 years in the police and survived this law, because at every stage the police are expected to...
What is the law now, sir, if I could ask you? he's come on record very clearly to say that he was tortured, third degree treatment given to him when he was not at fault. In fact, it's now come out he actually assisted in taking Pradyuman to the hospital to try and save his life, but the murder was pinned on him with no reason because the Gurgaon police just wanted to shut the case there. What is the law? What is the culpability that the Gurgaon police holds on this? And let me tell you, and all our viewers there, we did contact the Gurgaon police. There was no word from them, absolute silence. The commissioner also did not respond or did not want to talk about this. They are saying it's a case now handled by the CBI, but specifically, legally, what is the culpability?
Yeah, what I am totally also appalled at is the conclusions you arrive at. It appears so. What you say need not be the truth. The problem is that our mind travels faster, or rather our mouth travels faster than the actual reality which our mind refuses to see.
But these are not my conclusions. The CBI has said this, and now Ashok is confirmed.
If the CBI hadn't said so, then we still would be facing an incomplete investigation. The fact that somebody has confessed, now a Pakistani terrorist, Kasab, was arrested absolutely in action, totally he was arrested, and yet it took years and thousands of crores of rupees before he could be convicted in a court of law.
You're saying...
Remember that.
Yeah.
It is not a conclusive evidence.
Let me bring in our rest of the panelists on this, and I'll come to you, Tanveer, in a bit. I want to go to Pradyuman's lawyer on this. Mr. Tekriwal, what, since the beginning, since he reported on the case, I kept coming back to you to try and understand why exactly did you guys need a CBI investigation. Even then you said that there was more to it, that means the eye. Then you finally asked for a CBI, investigation. And now what that version of the truth, if, not to draw any conclusions there, that version of the truth is now out in the public domain. To rebut on what Maxwell is saying on this, how is it really that conclusive? Is this something that you'd been suspecting all this while?
See, right from day one, I must say, when this incident has happened on 8th of September, on 11th of September, we moved a petition before the Supreme Court of India. On 10th of September, by 10th of September, we came to know about anything and everything regarding some sort of conspiracy is being hatched, and by which the entire investigation is going to be botched up by the Haryana police. We knew it that things are getting framed, things are getting planted, and therefore on 10th itself, the whole night we prepared a petition. 11th we filed this petition before the Supreme Court for the CBI investigation. Now you see what the things are shocking.
Sir, tell me, is this the version that satisfies Pradyuman's parents? Just to clear this confusion then.
See, I tell you,
the CBI's version.
The things were very shocking and baffling at the initial stage. When CBI has taken over the investigation subsequent thereto, when it was announced by the state government and finally they swung into action, they have reversed the theory. And I tell you today, it's really very chilling and very spinelessness on part of the local police when they have subjected an innocent person to put to various torture, subjected to various kind of barbaric treatment being given to him, and made him to confess for the crime he has not committed at all. So this is really absurd, pathetic. I have no word to express myself, and I tell you, this right to life and liberty, which has been preserved by the Constitution of India, which has been violated here, will never be in a position to repair the subjection of this innocent person.
I actually agree. I actually agree with him when he says that irrespective of what is the truth, irrespective of whether or not Ashok is at fault, is this the treatment he should be subjected with?
No, definitely not.
Even before he's been proven guilty by the court?
No. The investigation was not over, number one. And I'm sure eventually the truth would have come out. I'm a little surprised, and at the same time not surprised, that confessions are being forced upon or literally extracted from innocent victims. And that is what we have fought against throughout, and these kind of things is nothing strange. In the Western society, this thing, you hear of cases in which after 20 years in jail and things like that, people are proved to be innocent and wrongly, convicted in a court of law, in a justice system, which is more.
To bring the focus back on this debate, we are trying to see, is it really so easy to pin down the poor and helpless? I have Ashok's family here with me.
It appears
and
so.
Amit and Kela Devi, both sitting here, told me very categorically that even now, when Ashok is back, they don't want to take on the system. They say we already are under so much of debt. The village has helped us around. We don't want to take this fight forward. It speaks volumes of the kind of condition. We come to you from his house, and if my camera person can show you the condition of this house, there is no electricity, mind you. All these are lights that we have picked up, sourced from outside. And every night for the past 3 or 4 days that I've been here, I've seen them light fire in the evening to keep themselves warm. They're really back to the basics here. But, you said an important bit that the truth would have prevailed some way or the other. And I want to bring in Tanveer on that. Tanveer, you've represented a case where God knows what the truth is, really. None of the narratives make any sense. Now, even as Talwars are out on bail, we still don't have Arushi's lawyer behind. But what is your understanding of the justice delivery system there? You told me once, long back, that if cases like Arushi, if a case like that, sadly so, God forbid, were to happen today, it would perhaps yield to the same result. That's a very strong statement.
You're right, Sonal, that there's no denial of that proposition. First of all, I'm a bit surprised at Mr. Pereira saying that he's surprised in the manner in which this Ashok was tortured. He has been a cop for years. Let me tell you, in our justice delivery system, we lawyers don't operate in vacuum. One side of the coin is judiciary and lawyers. The other 50% of the coin is investigating authorities, whether it is state police, whether it is CBI. Now, CBI cannot, be called upon to do an investigation every time, and everything with the CBI is not, absolutely great. So, the Indian police system has had this, some kind of an imperialistic hangover right from independence, that in criminal investigations you start with third degree. Somehow you secure a confession, you secure an admission, then make some recovery and then present a case before a court of law. To that extent, the cops, whether they are higher ups, whether they are IPS officers, whether they are constables, sub-inspectors, at whatever pedigree they enter into police investigating system, they have never been able to clear their lot. Now, what they don't, time and again understand is that they don't win cases in their police station. If you frame a person at the time of investigation and you first have a theory, for example, like now the narrative in this case is that the Gurgaon police or Haryana police tried to first set up a theory that it is this and this person alone, and then tried to have some kind of a connecting evidence. You're not going to win the case in the police station itself. You have to take the case to a court of law.
2 hours. I categorically asked Ashok what was the time he was picked up for questioning and taken behind the lockup. He says within 2 hours the police arrived, they cordoned off the area and immediately he was picked up. Who came up with this theory when he categorically states, and in that interview he says that very clearly, that he told the cops that the madam there, the teacher in charge, asked him to pick up Pradyuman from there and take him to the car, and that's what he did, and he was feeling so shaken up by the entire episode as well. But he was, Tanveer is saying that why are you shocked at all? Is it not
this
something
that... This is what you have been doing for always and ever. The, unfortunate
yes,
part
I want to ask Mr. Tanveer.
His words, not mine.
I want to ask Mr. Tanveer whether he has come across independent witnesses coming forward to depose. Is there a case in which he has had independent witnesses who have come forward and deposed? You talked of the Arushi case. What stops the people concerned who are involved in the, episode not to talk?
But that's because it is
what-
so
what-
overwhelming.
what
now.
should the
Yes,
people
it
do?
is. Everything is
Exactly
overwhelming.
why even they're
This
taking on the
country,
system.
what he said is
Because it is
absolutely
so-
correct.
it's so cumbersome. People don't even have the money.
We have inherited a system which is archaic, which is totally not in place today, and we are fooling around. We are such hypocrites in this country. We are living on a perfidious totally wrong criminal justice system. And I'm very blunt in this, and I'm telling that there is no true case that happens in the courts. The judges just want to record evidence, whatever that has been this thing, they have to finish off the files. 90% of the cases go in acquittal because there is no witness who comes forward. The citizens' rights require you to be a
But isn't that a failure of the system
yes,
on the whole?
yes, this is what I'm
Failure of the
saying.
system
And
on
you
the
don't
whole.
want police reforms. You don't want to reform the police.
I just want to get a word from
Yes.
Ami Chand on this. Sir, आप मुझे बताएं कि आपने कल मुझसे कहा, मैंने जितनी बार आपको टीवी पर देखा, यहाँ पर भी देखा, कल अशोक को भी देखा, आप हर बार हाथ जोड़ के कैमरा के सामने खड़े होते कि बस हमारा बच्चा घर पे वापस आ गया. क्या आपको नहीं लगता है गुड़गांव पुलिस को, हरियाणा पुलिस को इसकी भरपाई करनी चाहिए? जो आपके पूरे परिवार का, आपने बताया आपके परिवार के 5 लोग हैं. अशोक अकेला था जो पैसे कमाता था. 3 महीने से वो नहीं है. कितनी दिक्कतों से आप गुजरे. आपको नहीं लगता है उनको कल्पेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए?
जी ना, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ना चाहिए जी, ना कर इस बात को. हम
क्यों आपको-
गरीब आदमी हैं, हमारे बच के कुछ नहीं, आप गरीब आदमी हैं.
You see that's what I'm talking about. People are too scared, especially people like that, and that's what makes it
There would
easier.
be, there would
That's
be.
what makes it easier
Yes,
for
yes.
police. This is the fear that they are mounting on. I mean, I have no
this
words. on
battle
this.
has to be carried forward by the society, not by them.
And also, sir, we're going on to say that the judges are not to be blamed, this one is not to be blamed. But I just fail to understand what was the rush that the Gurgaon police was under to fix responsibility and say, I interviewed the commissioner immediately after that. He said it's an open and shut case. We figured it out. We've done this. This has to be now done away with. What was the rush? Why couldn't this be given a proper, thorough investigation? And partly, is media to be blamed in that? Is this instant
Yes,
fight for justice that we keep doing major sections of the media keep doing? Isn't that to be blamed as well?
Oh, yes. I mean, there are some. I totally agree that there was absolutely no reason to rush in this because it was a blind case. It was a case that happened in a remote area, which, was dumbfounding, absolutely ridiculous that in a school a child is slashed with his throat. It's
what was
nothing
the
that
rush for the
happens.
cops?
Yes. The rush was the sense of achievement of, that we have sorted out a major problem. It was a matter of children all over. Every parent in the country was worried about this case.
And Gurgaon police had to prove its competence very quickly. Last 30 seconds, Tanveer and Mr. Kejriwal.
Yeah, I
Tanveer, to
just
you
want to
first.
say one
Again,
thing.
if
Being
I keep
a-
thinking, I keep
being
thinking
a
about
poor
this,
in this
that if
country
this
is
case
the
were to
biggest
happen today, would
vulnerability
things be
for
any
him.
different?
Being a poor
I
is the
agree with
biggest
you,
vulnerability for anyone in this country. This is one thing. Second thing is it's very easy for the cops to frame any poor. Third thing I want to say, we are talking about witnesses. We don't have a policy today for paying the expenses for the witnesses coming from one length of the country to another. We don't have a proper policy for the preservation and the protection of the witnesses. And also,
We don't
we are
have
not
a
having
policy
any.
even to
Yeah.
punish
Also,
the
I agree.
ones that tell lies in court.
And
Well, we don't even have one to
we
help
don't have a
those who are
policy
trying to
for-
prove themselves
for having
innocent to go and fight that battle. We'll have to wrap it up there, running out of time. But I think one thing conclusively we've come to an end on is the fact that this system somewhere is failing people. It is failing those who have been wrongly implicated. It's failing those even who are seeking justice.
The
As we
system
still
has
don't
failed
know,
from day one.
as we still don't know, Pradyuman, what was the real cause and who was really responsible for that. The fight is still on. So is in the case of Arushi. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and stay tuned to NDTV. There's more news on the other side. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming.